Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're going to be discussing a video I came across recently from Tristan Tate, the brother of the alpha male Andrew Tate, discussing vegans. Just a couple things to take note of. This video has 6.8 million views and around 586,000 likes. So it has reached a very large amount of people. With the video hitting this amount of people and getting this amount of likes, I mean, surely it has very good information, right? I mean, after all, it was uploaded on an Andrew Tate dick-sucking channel called Value Masculinity, which means the video has tons of valuable information, right? Well, contrary to my expectation, the video was filled with bullshit. Though I don't expect a response anyway, I am aware that Andrew and Tristan are currently still being held by the Romanian police and therefore won't be able to respond to this. Either way, I still think this nonsense should be addressed, whether I'm given a response or not. Let's give it a watch.
Somebody decides not to eat meat and they really say, I don't want to eat meat, I don't think it's for me. That's fine, but when the vegans go too far is when they say humans shouldn't eat meat, no human on earth should eat meat.
Alright, so a couple things here. As a vegan of close to 8 years, who has been very involved in the online vegan community, I've never seen a vegan make a claim as absolute as no human being on this planet in any situation ever should eat meat. And the word should in this statement seems like a normative word. Vegans vary differently on whether or not there is a situation where one is moral in deciding to eat meat, or if there was a time where eating meat should be considered morally permissible. Just to give an example, there are vegans who have no issue with the consumption of roadkill or meat that is otherwise going to be thrown out. This includes meat that is already in the garbage. And some vegans take issue with this kind of consumption of meat. Some vegans think that killing animals in a survival situation is morally justified or morally permissible, while other vegans don't. I just wanted to mention these various disagreements amongst vegans because I wanted people who are unfamiliar with the vegan community who have watched this video from Tristan to know that there is wide disagreement over the absolute position of no human being on this earth should ever eat meat, or it is never morally permissible for a human on this earth to eat meat. It would have been better for Tristan to attack a more commonly held position that isn't so easy to make look unreasonable. For example, it is immoral to purchase animal products when one has non-animal alternatives readily available to be purchased. But of course, as many vegans have seen online, it's much easier to address veganism when addressing it in regard to a much sillier or weaker version of it. But anyway, let's keep going.
When the vegans go too far is when they say humans shouldn't eat meat, no human on earth should eat meat. Bring up the Maasai tribe. The Maasai are people that inhabit most of West Africa, from Nigeria all the way down to South Africa.
All right, so just a reminder before I make my next point, this video has 6.8 million views and 586,000 likes. Tristan says that the Maasai tribe is in West Africa. This is not true. They reside in East Africa in places like Tanzania and Kenya, which are much closer to East Africa. He even went as far to say that the Maasai people live anywhere from Nigeria all the way down to South Africa.
The Maasai tribe. The Maasai are people that inhabit most of West Africa, from Nigeria all the way down to South Africa.
This is important to mention because at first I thought, okay, maybe he got his East and West confused, but then he even specifies what he's saying by mentioning Western countries in Africa like Nigeria. So no, Tristan, the Maasai don't live in West Africa. Some of you may be wondering why I'm focusing so much on this small error when we're supposed to be responding to him talk about vegans. I find it important to highlight a person getting a very basic point wrong early on as reason to be more skeptical of the things they will say later on in the video, especially things that will be far less basic than the location of the Maasai tribe. Let's continue.
These people have a very ingenious way of living. What they do is essentially they have cattle with them. And they walk around with the cattle, and the cattle eat the inedible plants, thorns, grass, things that humans can't eat in land where humans cannot grow food. And then they live off the milk and the blood of those cows.
All right, guys. So just a reminder that the reason Tristan brought up the Maasai tribe was because he was trying to showcase why the absolute statement by vegans, which again, I have never heard from a vegan, of no human being on this planet should eat meat is an unreasonable normative claim. Now, the key word I want you to focus on in that statement is meat. So after covering the way in which the Maasai tribe operate, he says that they use their cattle to consume the milk and blood of the cattle, not meat. So let's get this straight. In order to show why the claim no human being on this planet should eat meat is unreasonable, Tristan goes over a tribe who, in his head, raise cattle to consume milk and blood, not meat. Makes a lot of sense. Now, to be clear, the Maasai do eat meat, not just blood and milk, but I thought this error was funny to point out. So just some fact checking for Tristan, the Maasai don't live in East Africa, they live in West Africa, and they don't raise cattle for only blood and milk, they raise them for blood, milk, and meat. Just a reminder that this video has 6.8 million views and 586,000 likes. amazing.
There is no other way for that human population, tribe, which has been around for longer than any modern civilization, by the way, to flourish and thrive in that area without this ingenious way of recycling plant proteins through their cattle. And I think it's absolutely genius. So if you think everybody should be vegan, these people aren't in the privileged position where they can go to Whole Foods.
So toward the end of the video, after Tristan's inaccurate representation of the Maasai tribe, he concludes that he has created an absolute and great defeater for the notion that no human on this planet should eat meat and that certain people are not privileged enough to go vegan. To most vegans and vegan activists, it's very uninteresting for a person to react to the vegan moral philosophy by bringing up a group of people who lack the resources to even go vegan, while the person bringing up the group of people themselves do not lack the resources to go vegan. Generally, vegans are trying to get people who have the means to go vegan, and not people who don't have the means to go vegan. Makes basic sense, right? Now, to be clear, Tristan didn't bring up this group of people in response to the vegan moral philosophy, but more so an absolute statement that, at least in my view, a small minority of vegans believe. But let's now bring the actual vegan moral philosophy to Tristan, as opposed to this absolute statement that most vegans probably don't even agree with. It's clear that Tristan is in a privileged position to go vegan, unlike the people in the Maasai tribe. So I wonder what his defense would be for continuing to support animal rights violations while he has a viable plant-based alternatives present to not. We've already seen his brother's response to veganism, which was extremely misguided, so I expect his will be quite similar, especially after those beautiful takes on the Maasai people. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support my work and get early access to it, you can click the link in the pinned comment and support me on Patreon. And if you don't know, I do have a book going over most, if not all, of the anti-vegan arguments you're going to hear online. If you want to get that as well, that'll also be linked in the pinned comment. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dude,
fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever speak to me again. You're a fucking piece of shit.
even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who is your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude,